Good afternoon. My name is Katie Williams, and today I would like to share the Durand South Diversity Plan with you. Okay, so the first question would be why implement a diversity plan? Durand South is a seventh grade only school in the Pell City school system, and our school system currently does not have a diversity plan, nor does it implement one. So, having a diversity plan for a school system is very, very important because it creates a sense of unity within the school system and the community with parents for a world that's constantly changing. The classroom today is a different place than it used to be. They're very different people and different children, and they all learn differently. And so we need to have a plan to be able to address those learners and help those children succeed. So the first thing that we will do is we'll implement a diversity team. And after we implement the plan into the school, that plan will be modified every 5 years. The diversity team will consist of the principal, the assistant principal, and then at least 1 to 3 faculty members, also of being different ethnicities within that diversity team. So having a diversity plan creates compassion and empathy building for the faculties and staff and also for the students, and it creates a sense of the multicultural awareness, which makes a better education for everyone. So the first thing we'll look at is the student demographics for our school, Durand South. So like I said earlier, Durand South Junior High School, we are seventh grade only school. This year in the 2020 school year, we have 304 students. 50% of them are female and 50% are male. Our socioeconomic status, we have 47% of our students are on meal assistance and their lunch is paid for. And then 48% are free. And then we have 5% that are reduced. So it's almost a half and half, with a little bit more leaning towards the meal assistance needs children. As far as our special populations go, 2% of our student population is ELL, so that English is not their first language. And this also means that in the home is probably English is not the first language spoken as well. Our special education students make up 11% of our student population, and then we have 5% that are considered 504 and have 504 plans, and 7% of our children are gifted. Breaking down by ethnicity, we have 84% of our students who are white or Caucasian. 12% are Black or African American, and then 4% fall into the Hispanic, Asian, or biracial or other category of ethnicity. So we currently have 4 goals that we're going to plan to implement in our diversity plan. The first one focuses on curriculum, having a curriculum that is inclusive and it reflects diversity from all races, creeds, and cultures. Our second goal is to implement ways that we can increase cultural awareness in our faculty, staff, and students. And our goal is hopefully by increasing this cultural awareness, and we can increase student engagement and hopefully try to bridge the achievement gap. Our third goal is to recruit, hire, and retain teachers, faculty, and staff and administration of color. And our last goal, goal 4, is to encourage community engagement and parental involvement, get the parents and get the community more involved with our school, especially those that are ELL or of different or diverse cultures. So our diversity team effort, we will collaborate, the diversity team will collaborate with all of the department heads in our school. So that would be science, English, math, and history. And so our first goal is we are going to try to implement a multicultural curriculum project. So inside this project, it would be a project that would span across all 4 subject areas. So it would be one project, but essentially it would have the different 4 components within it. So we would have, in our English department, we would focus on a multicultural novel project, and they would also present this. The students would read the novel that is from a different multicultural or different ethnicity or something that is considered diverse, and then they would present it. Science would focus on different creation theories. We already teach Darwinism, and so we would just teach that along with Darwinism. We would mention female scientists, maybe other cultures, and how they have their different creation theories. And we would also have articles going in there with Darwinism when they do that unit. And then history, we would definitely incorporate more historical female leaders, also leaders of different colors and ethnicities and different cultures. What was going on with the different cultures during this time in another country, things like that. We would incorporate that stuff within our project also with history. And then last, we would even incorporate math, cultures of commerce, what types of different countries use different commerce. And they would also have a life budget project, and which they would create a budget with goal and income and how they would pay bills and things like that, just to really make it apply to life. So our second goal is to create the environment for a positive self-image. So we want to bridge this achievement gap, and we want to be able to do that through encouraging students that are of different cultures or different ethnicities to really participate and be involved in their education. So one way we would do that is we would first train our teachers with a qualified multicultural education resource teacher through the JSU In-Service Center. So this would create this multicultural awareness professional development training that we would get here at school through the JSU In-Service Center. And so through that, then the teachers could incorporate that into the classroom. We would also have, we have two clubs here at Durand South. One is called the Glamour Girls Club, which is an all-girls club, and we have the Gentlemen's Club, which is all-boys club. And we would definitely focus on bringing in different lessons in those clubs having to do with building strong relationships, making sure that we encourage those students that are of different color to participate in the club, different ethnicities and genders and things like that. We also would like to incorporate multicultural celebrations or holidays at least once a month in our school news broadcast. And so this would also be a way that students could relate to the news program that normally, they wouldn't have anything to be able to relate to. And so we would be able to take things from the students that go to school here. They could tell us about different holidays that they celebrate and things like that. And we could even interview them on the news. The last way that we would try to encourage this positive self-image to bridge this achievement gap is through surveys, asking the students, what do you feel we need to work on as a school? How do you feel like, do you fit in, or do you feel like how could we make school a place where you're encouraged to learn and you feel comfortable and happy to learn, like you belong, a sense of belonging. And also teacher surveys for input and reflections. What are you putting out in your classroom to help bridge this achievement gap for those lower learners that are of different ethnicities or genders and things like that? And so that brings us to the data. This is the 7th grade math and reading scores that are broken down from the Scantron test. So we take the Global Scholar Scantron test for our benchmark scores every year in August. And so these are the August 2020 scores for this year. So we have the math scores are broken down and the reading scores, and they're actually broken down by gender, free reduced lunch, also English learners, and then race. So we have the ELL students that score significantly lower in reading and math, although the percentages we only actually have 6 students at Durand South that qualify for ELL. So when you see 80%, scored below in reading, we also had one student that wasn't able to test for that. So you have to incorporate that as well. But still, reading is a lower area for our ELL students. And so we need to find ways that we can encourage them in class to participate more to help bridge that gap and bring them up. Females score higher in reading than math. So maybe there's ways that in the classroom we can encourage males to read and to be better readers. The meal assistance children, they score significantly lower in both math and reading. And then virtual learning, this is the first year we had virtual learners at school. We actually had 33% of our student population that stayed home because of the COVID-19 epidemic. And so they were considered virtual learners, and some of them face a gap also because they didn't test. So we don't have accurate data for those virtual learners, and they also scored significant lower on tests. So how will we meet the needs of this? So through this diversity plan, we want to involve parents more. We want to communicate with the parents. What can we be sending home? What can we be implementing in class? What can you do to help us get these scores up? What kind of differentiated instruction can be pushed out in our classrooms to help these ELL students or to help the males, encourage them to score higher in reading? And then we also have a computer-based intervention program called IXL, and we actually have it for reading, math, and science this year, and we are using that every day in the classroom and also when our traditional students are at home so that they can have individualized skill practice. It actually assesses what their specific skills are that they need help on and gives them practice in those areas. So we use that computer-based intervention as well. So the next goal is goal 3, which is hiring a multicultural staff. I'm actually proud to say that at Durand South, we have the most diverse teaching staff out of any school in Pell City, in the Pell City school system. So as you can see, we have 70% of our teachers are white, but 30% are African American. We have 65% that are female, but 35% are male. And we are also 48% of the teachers here hold a master's certificate. So even though you think, well, that's 70 and 30, well, that means 1/3 of our staff is African American. And of that, we also have 35%, 1/3 of our staff is male also. So I think that really, it speaks a lot for our school and the fact that our principal is also African American and our secretary is African American. And I think that we have the most diverse teaching staff, and it is wonderful because we have teachers here that can really reach out and reach these students in the classroom, and I'm very proud of our school system for that. So that needs to be something that is implemented in the whole system, hiring more multicultural staff. So as far as hiring it, how are we going to do this? Well, we want it to be more like a team effort. So with the principal and the school superintendent, and also with the diversity team, we want to be in on the interview process. We want to participate in career fairs. We want to advertise for universities or teacher colleges that have a significant ethnic population. We also want to create a video application that we can push out to these colleges that celebrate diversity at Durand South. Our last goal is involving ELL parents and the community. So we want parents to be involved, and we want the ethnic community to be involved. So the diversity team is going to get together to really work and communicate with parents to promote our school in the community. We want to involve the PTO. We want community organizations and people that are of different restaurants or businesses within Pell City to come to our school, come to open house, come to meet the teacher, and also participate in fundraisers. We have various fundraisers throughout the town, school-related events that we really want to encourage the multicultural businesses to communicate with us so that they can be in these events with us. We also have a feature for our ELL parents that we use Remind 101, and that has a translate feature where when we send messages out in English, it will actually translate them into Spanish or whatever language that it needs to be for those parents. And then the parents can actually send a message back to us, and it translates it for us also. So it also has a voice feature, so it can translate what you say into that language as well. And so we've been using that this year, and it's been fantastic as a way to communicate with our ELL parents. And then last thing that we want to do, we really want to incorporate different cultures, parents to come in and really be involved to talk to us about something we want to call a day in my shoes. And so this is where the parents would come in and speak to the classes, probably in either English or history classes, and talk about what they do. If they run their own business, what they do in the community, and talk to us about their different cultures. And that's going to create a sense of awareness in our students and our faculty to see what it's like to walk a day in their shoes, pretty much. So the last thing I want to tell you is that the diversity plan that we want to implement is very, very important. And I feel like it really creates a sense of unity in our community, in our school. Seventh grade and middle school is a tough age anyway. And so I feel like we really need to create that sense of empathy and compassion between our students and faculty and parents, and all together just really see that you have to create this multicultural awareness early on. So then there's no bias later in life, and that they have lasting results. So, lastly, I want to say at Durand South Junior High School, we find being different is not what divides us, but what gives us our strength of unity and successfulness so all students can fulfill their dreams. Thank you so much for listening to my diversity plan. Have a great day.